There we go.
Okay, I'm going to start admitting people.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to our live event. As we're getting started, we're just going to wait for a bunch of other people to join. I'm Rachel, your host, and Tina is here as well, who's hosting with me from Just Thrive. We'll go into introducing everybody in a second. Once we have everybody on, if you want to let us know where you're joining from, that would be great. You can put it in the chat.
We're going to be diving into lots of exciting topics today, like how gut health impacts your skin and all things skincare. So we're excited that you're here.
Hi, Pam from Oklahoma. Nice. Kansas. And also, as you're joining, if you want to tell us if you're a customer of Annmarie Skin Care or Just Thrive or both, that would be fun to see. Anita, have you been a customer of Annmarie Skin Care or Just Thrive?
Or both.
Or both? Okay. If you're just joining, we're just going to wait a couple more minutes for more customers to join, but we have Just Thrive on with us today. Tina from Just Thrive, Annmarie Skin Care, nice. And we're going to be talking about gut health and Just Thrive's products and also how it affects your skin. Very exciting.
Start thinking of some great questions.
We still have a lot of people joining, so if you're just joining, hang tight. We're going to get started in just a couple minutes. Tell us if you're a customer from Annmarie Skin Care or Just Thrive or both. And then also, what are you looking forward to most on this call? And we have more people from Oklahoma. Very cool.
Love it.
Cool. We still have more people joining. If you're just joining us, hang on just a second. We're going to get started pretty soon. Go ahead and plug in the chat where you're joining from, if you're a customer of Just Thrive or Annmarie Skin Care, and what you're most excited about for this call. Also, yes, we would love to see your faces. So if you would like to put your camera on, that would be great. You don't have to, but we would love to see you. Hey. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Grace, anything you want to plug in? You're in, yep. Okay.
Hi, everyone. As you come in, I put it in the chat, but if we would love to see your faces if you're comfortable being on camera. But if you don't mind staying on mute, that would be lovely. And we're about to get started.
Great. Thanks, Grace. Okay, so this is our first ever live shopping partner call. We invited Just Thrive here with us today to talk about gut health and skin vitality and how they're related. And we're super stoked to have Tina on. She's CEO and founder of Just Thrive. Hi, Tina. And then just for everyone to see everyone's faces here, we also have Grace, who you just heard from, who's going to be helping with giveaways and coupon codes and links and things like that. We have Beth from Just Thrive as well. And then we also have Kate from Annmarie Skin Care, who is our esthetician, and she's also going to be answering questions on skincare and the products here. So as we go through, if you have questions that pop up, just plug them in the chat and we might save them for our Q&A, or we'll have like a little small section for questions that come up. During this call, we're going to have up to 30% off from both brands. We're going to do giveaways, Q&A session. Reminder, put your questions in the chat because we're going to want lots of juicy questions. And if you're listening to this call at a later date, these codes and offers are not going to be available for you. They're only during the call. So you'll have to join us next time for live calls. Okay. I think that's everyone I introduced. We're good there. This call will be about an hour and a half. We're going to share, so the discounts that we're going to have, we're going to plug the links into the chat with the codes, and then giveaways. You'll hear about those throughout the call. And I think that's it. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss out. We're going to have a couple of discounts now, a couple later. So if you leave, you're not going to get the ones later. So I would suggest staying on for the full hour and a half. And then also, just a heads up, these discounts and giveaways are only during the call. So they will stay live for an hour after the call. So we encourage you to open up your carts now and do the shopping during the live call so that you can plug in your codes and then check out. You'll have an hour until after the call ends to check out, to have those live. Did I miss anything? Anyone? I think that's it. Cool.
Mhm.
Hey, let's get started. Okay. So for the gifts that we're offering today, Annmarie Skin Care is offering a kale and micro exfoliant trial size with all orders. So just keep that in mind. If you're checking out on Annmarie Skin Care, you're going to receive a free trial size of the kale and micro exfoliant during this call.
And then, yeah, for Just Thrive, we've created a free gift as well. We are going to be offering our Just Calm product, which is a calm and mood support product that is obviously very relevant in this day and age. So you'll save 25% during this event on all of our products, but you just have to use the promo code AM25 at checkout, and you will get 25% off of whatever you put in your cart. And you will also get that free gift of a 7-day sample of the Just Calm product.
Amazing. Sweet. Thank you. And then last reminder is Grace is letting people in. These will be live 1 hour after the event ends. So make sure you check out by 12:30. We'll probably remind you a couple of other times because we get some people who write in asking. So if you hear that again, don't mind us. And we'll get started in just a second. Again, we want to hear if you're a customer of Annmarie Skin Care or Just Thrive or both. We have people joining in from Kansas City, from Kansas, Missouri, Beaver Creek, Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, Oregon, a couple people from Oklahoma, Colorado, Virginia, California. Where else here? Yeah, we have a lot of people in here. It's great. And one last reminder, we'd love to see your faces. If you want to turn your video on, you don't have to, but we would love to see you, and just keep yourself on mute. Okay, let's kick it off, Tina, with our first segment, how gut health impacts your skin.
Yeah. So I think it's super important to talk about gut health just when it relates to your overall health. We know that the gut is literally responsible for virtually all aspects of our overall health. It is the foundation for our overall wellness, including having that radiant skin. And this is just starting to be, a hot topic. We now know that the gut is, so many people have thought of the gut as digestive issues. So you have gas or bloating or diarrhea or constipation, and those are certainly signs you have some gut imbalance going on. But what we now are starting to understand that, virtually all of our health is stemming from the health or unhealth of our gut. So when we're talking about even brain issues like, our mood, our mental health, that's all stemming from our gut health. And that would be a whole other segment that we could talk about. But, we do know now that our skin and our gut microbiome are very impacted by each other. And we have to be taking care of our gut in order to be having beautiful skin. We know this from, people who have eczema, psoriasis, dry skin, any type of skin acne is another big one. They typically have gut issues. In fact, that's how I got my teenage daughters at the time, 10 years ago when we started this company, to get my kids to start taking our product was because they had acne. And then they started taking it and they're like, oh, the this works. And it's like, yes. And it's so hard for people to wrap their head around the fact that our gut is really dictating so much of our health, including our skin health. And unfortunately, this world we're living in is so disruptive to our gut health. We know that from the pesticides that are in our food supply, the glyphosate that's sprayed all over our produce, antibiotics, and not just antibiotics that we take, but antibiotics that are found in our food supply and our animal products. These are huge offenders to our gut health. We also know that stress, which unfortunately we're all under, that is also impacting our gut health. So we live in this world with antibacterial hand sanitizers, antibacterial hand soaps, that are unfortunately kind of wreaking havoc on our gut because our bacteria is actually our friend. We've been kind of, brainwashed all these years thinking that bacteria is bad. Really, bacteria, the overwhelming majority of bacteria is actually friendly and so life supportive to us. And it's literally less than 1% of bacteria is actually harmful. So we're always like the fans of supporting our bacteria, but unfortunately, like I said, in this world we're living in, it's so disruptive. The soil is so depleted of nutrients. We're not getting the same type of bacteria our ancestors used to get. And this is why we're seeing this epidemic of disease in our country. And I don't want to paint a bad picture. We're all here here in Chicago. It's a beautiful
Yeah.
afternoon. I don't want to paint a bad picture because there are ways that we could heal our gut. And that's exciting. We can heal our gut. So many times people will know, like, oh, I have an autoimmune issue, and they think it's a lifelong condition. But really, when you start to heal your gut through lots of different modalities, you start to see these conditions getting better and improving. And we see this all the time with our gut health. And one of the really exciting things about Just Thrive is we are obviously a probiotic company. We launched with our flagship product, Just Thrive Probiotic and Antioxidant. And it's a very different approach to gut health. Most probiotics on the market actually have difficulty surviving to the intestines alive. So they die. So basically, you're getting dead bacteria in the intestines. Just Thrive actually has this endospore shell around itself. It's a spore based bacteria that allows it to survive the gastric system and get to the intestines alive, and where it starts to make a true change in that gut flora. And that's really important because we want a diverse microbiome. We want this lush garden, if you will, in our digestive tract, in our intestines, so that we are able to handle, all of these offenders that we're faced with on a regular basis. One of my goals in life is just to be resilient. We as humans, we are very resilient. Our bodies are meant to be, heal ourselves. But unfortunately, because of all of these chemicals and toxins and all of these offenders that we're faced with on a daily basis from, you know, um, personal care products or household cleaning products, they're just loaded with these chemicals and we're being faced with them all the time. And so my goal is always to be resilient. And one of the best ways to do that is with a probiotic that actually survives and helps create diversity in the microbiome. And it's why we see so many people come to our product that say, oh my gosh, this helped me so much with gas. It helped me so much with bloating. I was experiencing so much bloating. And then they're on the product for a couple months and then they're like, my God, my skin looks better, or I have more energy, or I'm sleeping better. And of course, we know when you're sleeping better, your skin looks better. So it's amazing how it's all tied together. And anything that you're doing topically with your skin is just going to be amplified that much more when you're taking care of your gut, because it's really hard to find any gut or any skin condition that's not tied to your gut. So really important when you're talking about a probiotic that survives. And then the other really, really interesting thing about Just Thrive that's very unique, not only is our survival unique, but if you notice in our name, it's called Just Thrive Probiotic and Antioxidant. And the reason that it's named that is because one of our strains, HU36, it's called Bacillus indicus, actually produces carotenoids. So carotenoids are those really, really skin protective nutrients. And our product actually produces these very important carotenoids. So like astaxanthin, zeaxanthin, beta carotene, lycopene, all these really important antioxidants or carotenoids are being produced in our intestines exactly where they need to be absorbed. So it's one of the most bioavailable forms of carotenoids on the market. And it's all within this probiotic. So not only are you helping with your overall health, you're also helping with your skin health. So it's been really exciting to see people who have suffered with skin issues and other issues that have seen some relief with the product. I just cannot overstate the importance of when you're doing all these things topically. Those are so important. Skin health is, there's lots of tools we have to apply to skin health. It's not that one tool is the only answer, but it's when you do them together, when you're taking, you're putting these topical things on, and then you start taking the inside of your body, you start to see this profound change in your skin health. And it's so undisputed that your gut health is related to your skin health.
I love that. I never knew about the antioxidants. I think that's really cool. And I
Yeah.
think one of the coolest things that Tina and I, we met a very long time ago. We were chatting about this before the call, and I know her more as a friend rather than just Thrive person. But part of the really cool thing when she was talking about her products is that they survive in your gut. Because I was like, oh, I have to mine go in the fridge and then I have to refrigerate them when I travel. And she's like, no, 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 no. And she explained that whole process to me, which I thought was pretty remarkable because I think we're always told that they need to be in the fridge, which is really interesting. I'm realizing that there's probably a lot of customers here coming from Just Thrive who may not know about Annmarie Skin Care, and Annmarie Skin Care who may not know about Just Thrive. Tina, do you want to give us like a quick synopsis on how you got started? I mean, that was a lot about what you created, but
Mhm.
anything else you want to plug in there for any customers who aren't aware?
Sure. Yeah. I have an interesting background. I'm an attorney. And so I was in litigation for many years. And then I wanted to stay home and have more time with my kids because I was working crazy hours. I had 3 children at the time. And I was able to segue into a family pharmaceutical business where I was their in-house counsel. And then after being in the pharmaceutical industry, I really started to notice a lot of the abuses in the industry. And of course, this topic is so front and center these days. With Callie and Casey Means, who are all over the internet talking about how big pharma is, there's so many abuses in big pharma. And this is something that we have been preaching for the last 11 years is, pharma, there are so many abuses going on in the pharmaceutical industry with the overprescribing of medications. And I always say pharmaceuticals save lives, and there are, antibiotics save lives. There are, if I had an infection or in a car accident or something, I would definitely want medical intervention. But I do
How
feel
was your
that
summer?
Oh,
I do feel that we need to really focus on, prevention of chronic conditions. And my husband and Billy and I really just felt that we weren't doing our life's work. We're huge fans of Dr. Wayne Dyer. We read so many of his books, and we just didn't feel like we were doing our life's work. And so we started diving into the research, learning more about the gut than we ever knew before. This was shortly after the National Institutes of Health launched the Human Microbiome Project. And we were able to license these very exclusive strains, these bacillus strains, these spore-based strains from London University, from Dr. Simon Cutting. And we were complete disruptors in the market. It was a very uphill battle, but I would do it over and over again because this product has changed so many lives. And it's so gratifying to do that.
I love that. Thanks for sharing. And then just, I think a very similar story with Annmarie Skincare. Kevin and Annmarie, for anybody who's unfamiliar with the brand, Kevin and Annmarie Gianni, founders, husband and wife, they had a blog called Renegade Health, and their whole like mission was advocating for clean products and recommending products that they could stand behind and suggest to their followers. And they started getting the question to Annmarie of what skincare she used, and she really didn't feel comfortable recommending anything that she had. She took a look and she's like, we can't recommend this. This is garbage. This isn't like aligned with our standards. And so she started looking for a product line that she felt aligned with and that was clean and great and amazing. And fast forward a little bit, she finally found a line that she loved and she connected with the formulator. And this was 15 years ago now. So there weren't that many on the market at the time. And she connected with the formulator, they became partners, and then Emery Skincare was launched. And at the time, there weren't that many clean products and formulators, and even still today, formulators, they want to throw in extra preservatives or throw in stabilizers or throw in formaldehyde formed ingredients, and it's just gnarly of what's out there on the market. So I think it's really cool from 15 years ago to now we're still fighting the good fight of like providing clean products and removing toxic chemicals from the beauty industry. And yeah, it's great that you guys kind of have the same story of really pushing the needle in the pharmaceutical industry and the
Yeah.
supplement space.
Yeah, we've been aligned for many years with Annmarie, there's no doubt.
Yeah. Very cool. Okay, so that's a little recap on both brands. Um, and tell us a little bit about what you're going to offer people for their little first special here.
Yeah, so we're offering a 25% discount on our probiotic and all the products on our in our store. And we actually have a duo too for the probiotic and the prebiotic, but you can get 25% off for during the time of this call and the hour afterwards, and then a free gift, which is our 7-day trial of our Just Calm product, which is a called a psychobiotic, and the psychobiotic is supporting that gut brain connection. So it's really exciting. One of our most popular products now. I mean, our Just Thrive probiotic and antioxidant is our flagship product. In my opinion, it is the most foundational product you could take for your overall health because, as I said, our gut is impacting all of our organs, all of our overall health. So we're going to offer 25% off during this call.
Yay. Thank you. And just to remind from my own personal knowledge, that antioxidant that you were talking about, is that in every product or is that in certain products?
It's only in the Just Thrive probiotic and antioxidant. So
Okay.
we have one probiotic. So it's our probiotic and antioxidant. It comes in capsule form and gummy form.
Okay.
And then we also our Just Calm product is a probiotic, but it's technically called a psychobiotic because it's supporting that gut brain axis. And so it's only the HU36, the strain, the antioxidant producing strain is only in our Just Thrive probiotic and antioxidant.
Cool. Okay. Love it. Great. And for those of you just joining, we just had a lot of people join in the past 5 minutes. We are doing a live partner shopping event with Just Thrive and Annmarie Skin Care. We're offering special deals, discounts, giveaways, um, little gifts throughout this call. So stay tuned, and Grace will be plugging them into the chat. And then, I guess, kicking off for Annmarie Skin Care's discounts, we're going to offer a couple of our favorite products. You know, of course, gut health and skin are very related, and you want to always use clean skincare and brightening skincare and protective skincare during that process. So we're offering discounts on 3 of our products right now, 25 to 30% off. Our Sun Love at 30%, our Wild Fruit Serum at 25%, and our Radiant Sea Mask and Polish at 30%. And so we rarely give discounts on our Wild Alchemy collection. So I would say if you have any interest in these products, to take advantage of them. And just to give a quick little rundown of each of these products, Kate's going to go into those and how you can use them and the importance of them.
Yay, thank you. I'm so excited that we're doing this call because I work with customers so often, and skincare is just a piece of the puzzle. You know, it's a greater lifestyle that's really going to give you this effect that you want. But the products that we're offering, I'm really excited to get into. So one of them that we are offering a discount on is this one. This is the Wild Fruit Serum. Now, this one, when we're talking to customers, this is kind of like the top tier as far as products that are addressing signs of aging. The Wild Fruit Serum it's got a bevy of brighteners. We've got Cacao Plum, which is very vitamin C rich. We've got Uva Ursi in here, which is helping to brighten and fade, helping to support fading some discoloration in the skin. We've also got resveratrol-rich knotweed in here, which is also really helpful with antioxidants and just evening out the tone and the texture. Aside from that, lots of hyaluronic acid, so a good plumping, a nice amount of hydration for the skin. Feels really, really lovely. The scent profile of this one smells a lot like the plum. That's where we get this wild fruit serum. And then, of course, we've got stem cells in here, and stem cells are incredibly helpful for maintaining this lift and taut look to the face. So as we're talking about supporting the skin internally, this is incredibly helpful to maintain product to maintain the brightness, the lift, and just the overall radiance of the skin. This is good for pretty much anyone who is concerned with signs of aging. And this could be more pronounced signs of aging. This could be early signs of aging. This could be prioritizing staving off signs of aging. Anyone that's kind of falling within that realm, this is supportive for. Great for dry skin, great for normal skin, sensitive skin, all of that. This is pretty much supportive for any skin type in that realm. And this is the wild fruit serum. And this one is discounted, let me double check, 25. And like Rachel mentioned, we don't often do steep discounts with the Wild Alchemy collection. So with this one, this is a pretty good snag at the 25% off. Another one that we're offering is the Radiant Sea Mask and Polish. And this is a really interesting product because it's almost like a piece in your greater like alchemy collection, right? You can use this as a polish. It comes as this loose, dry scrub here. It's got this nice red coloration to it. So you can use it to polish the skin. You shake a little bit into your hand, add a little bit of water, and then gently buff. You can also use this as a mask. And so putting a little bit into your hand or into a jar, adding water, and then leaving it on the skin. This product is also very vitamin C rich. The ingredients in here, we've got acerola cherry, we've got a lot of hibiscus. The feel of it is truly a polish when you're gently buffing it on the skin, which means it's great for skin that is kind of normal to dry or even sensitive. You can really customize the depth of the grit by the amount of liquid that you're adding to this. I also really love this particular product because you can mix this into a lot of different things. I really love it in the phytonutrient cleanser. So adding a little bit to your cleanser, it just adds a little bit of texture to help kind of buff the skin. And likewise with the mask. So you can mix this into, I've got a teammate who really likes it in honey. I personally really like it with the illuminating pearl mask as we're working on just like increasing the radiance of the skin, especially utilizing supporting the gut. This is a really nice one to bring in. And this one's discounted 30%. And we rarely discount anything 30%. So again, this is a really good time to invest in this one. And then the third one that we're offering the discount on is this one. And this is our Sun Love. This is our sun protection product. And for any routine where you're focusing on supporting the skin, it's incredibly important to have a sun protectant. We have an SPF 20. We utilize a zinc oxide in this one. It's a non-nano zinc oxide, which means this isn't crossing into the blood, crossing the transepidermal barrier there. It wears really sheer, and this is one of our kind of like pride moments with this product because zinc oxide sunscreens, if you've ever used them, can be really gloppy and kind of white cast. And this one, as it applies, it's got this beautiful, healthy glow, but you don't have that like really thick white look to the skin. So it feels really wonderful. It's got a nice amount of moisture with berry fruit and pumpkin seed oil. On top of that, it's also reef safe, hypoallergenic, paraben free. When you're looking for a clean sunscreen, this is one of the best that I found and one of the most comfortable for daily wear with that very sheer wear to it. So everyone, this is going to be an important piece in your routine. And I think this one was 30%. What was this one?
30.
Yeah, 30. So another really great time to invest in the Sun Love there.
Nice. Thanks, Kate.
Mhm.
So we just had a few people joining. If you're just joining, Grace plugged in the links into the chat for those 3 products, along with Just Thrive's prebiotic formula at 25% off. And then just as a reminder, you'll check out before 1 hour after the call to get these discounts. And then every purchase during that time will get from Just Thrive will get a free product, their Just Calm trial product, and then from Annmarie Skin Care trial product of our Kaolin micro exfoliant. So it's a mouthful, it's a lot to do, but we're giving away a lot of products and a lot of discounts. So stay tuned for a couple more. and let's dive into our first giveaway. Okay. So for everyone who would like to participate in this giveaway, answer in the chat, how do you focus, if you do, focus on gut health as a part of your skincare routine? And if you don't, then tell us that too. So do you focus on gut health? How do you do so? Or if you don't, tell us that too. And we'll give you a few minutes to plug that into the chat, and then we'll do a giveaway. We'll do 2 giveaways. Sauerkraut, I love that one. I was drinking those like gut shots, the kraut ones when I was pregnant, just like chugging it, drinking it so much.
I could talk about a myth regarding sauerkraut and fermented foods.
Tell us, tell us.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, I'm a huge fan of sauerkraut and fermented foods, and I think they are so nutrient dense and so supportive of our gut. They just are not a replacement for a probiotic because the lactobacillus strains that are in fermented foods actually will also die in the stomach acid, so in the gastric system. So that's, I think they are super, it's the ferment that actually gives this gut supportive properties. It's not the probiotic, which is interesting. So it's definitely not a
Okay.
replacement, but it's also really important. I mean, I'm a huge fan of fermented foods. I eat them all the time. But it's not a replacement because those probiotic strains that are in the fermented foods actually will also die in the acidic environment of the stomach.
Okay. That's very fascinating. So, because you always hear like, oh, you need probiotics, eat
Right.
your sauerkraut, eat yogurt, blah, blah. I think
I
Terry
know.
wants to win. So she
Yeah.
can try the probiotics.
We have lots of myths over here.
That's so cool. Okay. So a couple of other ones, probiotics and colostrum. We are hardcore fans of colostrum over here. Take a probiotic daily. You get a good pre and probiotics. Apple cider vinegar. Any thoughts on apple cider vinegar, Tina? Because I also drink that daily.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. I think it's another gut supportive drink.
Great. Okay. In the process of healing healing lots of gut issues through supplement and diet, green tea, probiotics, jicama, broccoli, etc. Fermented foods, kimchi, yogurt, non-dairy, and dairy. Anita is very excited to try Just Thrive.
Thanks, Anita.
Vinegar, lemon juice, and cayenne drink. Lots of cool answers here.
Another great tip to support gut health is eating a diverse group of foods. You know, as a society, we eat like 15 to 16 type of foods a year when our ancestors used to eat like 300 different types of food. So try to really increase that diversity in your diet by grabbing different types of fruits and vegetables and different types of roots and tubers so you get some more diversity in your diet, which will also help diversity in your microbiome, which is key. We need a diverse microbiome to have a healthy microbiome.
I like that. I saw this movie once that was talking about corn and how we have like, I don't remember how many there were, like maybe 70 varietals. And hundreds of years ago, we had thousands of varietals. And it's just so wild to think how things have
Yeah.
just diminished over the years.
Yes. I mean, we've had some improvements with, antibiotics that help save lives and infections, but boy, they had a lot of things right back then. There's no doubt.
Yeah. Okay, Grace, do we have 2 winners?
We do. So Maria and Rebecca, you are the winners. So if you don't mind direct messaging me either your email or how I can get best in contact with you, that would be amazing. And we can work on next steps from there. But Maria and Rebecca are the winners.
And Maria and Rebecca,
Congratulations.
you just won a probiotic and the probiotic serum from Annmarie Skin Care with Tremella. In case I definitely didn't mention that, so I'm sorry. So congratulations. And just a reminder to plug any questions you have in the chat, and we're going to open them up in just a bit to answer them. One question that came in around subscription, Beth, I'll let you take that one if you want to plug that answer into the chat for Just Thrive. Michelle, she will get to you. Okay, let's dive into a little bit more about skincare. We're going to talk about some essentials, like an essential routine. So I think maybe Annmarie Skincare customers might know some of this. These are probably some of your favorites, but if you're from Just Thrive, I think you would appreciate learning about this. Kate's going to go over 3 of our bestsellers. We're going to offer all of them at 25% off. And the first one is our aloe herb cleanser, 100 ml, anti-aging serum, 30 ml, and anti-aging facial oil at 30 ml. And Kate, go for it.
Yay. Before I dive into that, I do want to tell our winners about the serum that they've won.
Mm.
So the probiotic serum, this was our giveaway that we just did. This is a probiotic rich facial serum. We use an olive leaf ferment. So in this greater conversation of probiotic support, this is a really nice one for any skin type, but particularly sensitive skin, particularly skin that might have some particular concern that's thrown the skin off in one way or another. This can be good. So even if you didn't win, I wanted to make sure that we got that one out there. So also, congratulations to those winners for that. Now, the best sellers, these are very popular products for a good reason. This first one is our aloe herb cleanser. This is a very soft, very balancing cleanser. It feels very light and smooth on the skin. It's got a lot of ingredients to just kind of keep the skin very balanced. So we recommend this one a lot for pretty much any skin type, especially those that are addressing signs of aging, those that have sensitive skin, skin that might get irritated or inflamed or something of that sort, and skin that's wanting to stave off signs of aging. The feel of the skin when you rinse this is very balanced. It just feels kind of perfect. It's not really going to be squeaky clean or removing too much. It's also not going to be leaving a residue behind, so you don't have any like sticky, tacky, or oily feel when you're rinsing this off. This is a very tried and true cleanser for people who are starting with our skincare line and maybe aren't sure which cleanser could be best for them. This one tends to address a lot of concerns and apply to a lot of different skin types. So again, this one is 25% off for the next little bit here. So good time to invest in this one. The next one is the anti-aging serum, and this is another one of the best seller. This one and the anti-aging facial oil kind of dance between being best sellers for us here. So this is one of our only serums. It is the only serum that we have in two sizes. We have in the 15 and the 30. The 30 is the only one that's discounted today. So keep that in mind. The anti-aging serum is super ideal for skin that's on the dry side, skin that is starting to see signs of aging, that might be fine lines, that might be starting to see a little bit of drooping in the skin. This product has a good amount of hyaluronic acid, and hyaluronic acid is a humectant, which means it pulls moisture to it and expands. And so for those areas that are starting to see creasing, starting to see lines, this is helpful for kind of maintaining the plump, full look to the face. This also has a really beautiful floral complex in it. We've got rose, of course. Let's see, Life Everlasting is in here. This beautiful floral complex is helpful for maintaining kind of this resiliency and strength of the skin. And so it's working in the moment. The hyaluronic acid works really quickly, and then over time with that. And then the anti-aging facial oil, this is one of my absolute favorites. It's an incredibly rich facial oil. And we do use oil as our form of moisture here at Annmarie Skin Care. We do this for a couple reasons, but one of the big reasons is because the oils, as clean and pure as they are, the skin recognizes this as a form of moisture. And so when you're using a facial oil, your skin takes on this very radiant, kind of glowy, youthful look to it. And this is true for my 20-year-old customers all the way up to my 90-year-old customers. That it's true for pretty much everyone. This particular oil, we use a very rich jojoba oil, and jojoba oil is a really nice one for skin that gets dry, skin that is more mature, skin that's starting to see signs of aging. This jojoba mimics skin's natural oil really closely, and so wearing this on the skin, your skin takes on this very full, radiant look. We've got steeped into this jojoba oil broccoli seed, chia seed, goji berry, these seeds and plant extracts that are helpful for maintaining kind of this restorative feel to the skin. The way I'll often describe it is with the facial oil, it helps to maintain kind of this like bounce back. So as you're making all the facial expressions, your skin has a little bit more resiliency, which we've kind of been talking about with our gut health, to return to this your normal look. You're not having this stick in the same way that it might before. These are both important. A really common question I'll get is, do you need both the serum and the oil? And the answer is absolutely yes. These are working in the skin in very different ways, although they have very similar names. The serums are supporting kind of your hydration level, the amount of water that you've got happening towards the lower layers of the skin. The oil is supporting the moisture level of the upper layers of the skin, and so helping to maintain the moisturized feel to the skin. So most of the time, if you're using just one, you're probably going to feel like you're lacking a little bit because they're both supporting the skin in different ways. And again, these are 25% off and 25% off just for the next little bit here. So if you're an Annmarie regular and these are your favorites, it's time to stock up. Or if you're new to us and you're checking us out, it's a good time to try these ones, especially at these sizes. So yeah.
And don't
Awesome.
forget, having a healthy gut can amplify those results. And that anti-aging oil is, oh my God, my favorite, hands down.
It's a good one. It's potent. And Tina, do you want to share? We've had quite a few people join in the past 5-10 minutes. If you want to add a little tidbit for them on gut health, we're going to talk a little bit more about it after as well, but anything you want to throw in there?
Yeah, just that when you're talking about skin health, you have to be talking about gut health because A, anything you do topically is going to be amplified when your gut is healthy. And then B, we just know that our skin health is so connected to the health or unhealth of our gut. And it's why you see people who have, rosacea, eczema, acne, dryness, and they're more prone to wrinkles, they all pretty much have some type of other gut issues going on. So it's actually a great, they say your skin is a great sign of your health. And that's because your gut is really dictating what your skin looks like. So we really have to be focusing on both. I think topical things are critical to maintaining our health, but we also have to be focusing on our gut health and making sure. And the best part about it is that you're focusing, maybe you're taking the probiotic because of, you have some skin issues you want to deal with. And then you'll start to notice I have better digestion. I'm in a better mood. I'm sleeping more. And so you have all these other benefits that start to happen when you start taking a quality probiotic that survives. And the thing that we talked about before was just the big difference with Just Thrive is its ability to survive the gastric system and get to the intestines alive, which is huge. Which sets us apart from any other probiotic on the market is it's so robust and it's able to survive that gastric system and get to the intestines alive. And then, of course, our flagship probiotic actually produces antioxidants or carotenoids right inside the intestines, which is one of the most, carotenoids are so critically important for our skin health. It's what gives, flamingos that pink color, or salmon that color, and tomatoes, the lycopene, those antioxidants and carotenoids that are so helpful for our health. And this product actually produces the carotenoids inside the intestines. So you don't have to worry about it being absorbed. It's being produced when it gets to the intestines. So really unique product for skin health, as well as our overall health.
I love that. Thank you. I just gave my bottle to a friend of mine who just had a baby. I was like, oh, here, you can have, because she wanted
Yeah.
probiotics. I'm like, wait, now I want it back now.
Well, thank you. It's so
Yeah.
good. I know my daughter just had a baby. So I've been like, I mean, and that is, if anyone is on this call that is about to have children or, they have somebody that's going to have children, I always would recommend that you are taking care of your gut microbiome because that is the time that your baby is inoculated with their gut bacteria is through vaginal childbirth and close skin to skin contact and breastfeeding. But the best gift a mother could give their child is great gut health. And you have to be taking care of your gut when you're pregnant and before you're about to get pregnant so that you could really, pass down inoculate your baby with the most healthy microbes that you can.
So during pregnancy, this is completely safe. all the
Yeah,
time.
I mean, of course, you have to ask your
Of
doctor, but
course,
I can't
yes.
imagine any doctor that would say no. But this is not only
Yeah,
safe, it is like critically important for
yes.
new moms.
Cool. Awesome. Okay, if you're just joining, just a reminder for the next, so this call will end in roughly an hour. The codes and the gifts will be live for an hour after that, so make sure you check out before 12:30 Pacific time. The free gift that you're going to be getting on the Annmarie Skincare site is the trial size Kaolin micro exfoliant, and then the free gift on the Just Thrive site is the trial size of the Just Calm. It's a calming mood support supplement. So that's super exciting. And then remember, if you have questions, plug them into the chat and we will answer them. Karen, you private message me a question, but I'm going to answer it out loud because I can't chat. Just around the subscription is 25% better than discount or normal. You'll have to check your subscription because we usually give not that much. But if you signed up during a special period where we offered 25%, which is very, very, very rare, you might be subscribed at that, but most likely, most people are subscribed at around 10 to 15%. So our typical subscription is 10%, and then there's a rare case you signed up at a different one. So I would say this is better. Okay, let's look at. I guess it's time for questions. So perfect timing. Grace, are there any questions that you've seen that you jotted down to the side that we need to start answering? And while she's looking, if you all have questions for either myself or Kate or Tina on skincare, skin health, gut health, probiotics, foods, anything like that, please plug them into the chat and we are super excited to answer them.
And Rachel, did you want me to talk about the prebiotic at all? I know we had mentioned that before. Did you want me to
Yes.
talk about that?
So we're going to get into that one. Yeah, that one's in the next segment. So
Okay, perfect, perfect.
yeah, so if you guys have specific questions about the prebiotic, I know nothing about a prebiotic, so I'm going to want you to just say everything. But if anybody has any questions, you want to plug them in now, we can answer them now. If not, we can dive into prebiotics. Grace, any questions that you saw?
There is one that Beth did answer, but there were a few more that came in that was wondering if the coupon code for the probiotic would work on subscriptions or not. So just because there was a kind of a lot of questions, I thought we could kind of answer that here just quickly.
Yes, but it's only for the first purchase only
Perfect.
during this time window. So it expires right after the call.
Perfect. Thank you, Beth. And then another one just came in. So what's the main difference between the prebiotics and the probiotics? Great question.
Perfect timing, because that's what we were going to dive into. So, so the best way I could describe the difference is, so if you envision a garden and the garden has been stepped on and trampled on, and there's weeds growing all over that garden, and you compare that garden to your own intestinal tract. So in our intestines, we have good bacteria that are very, very helpful to our maintaining our health, and then we have pathogenic bacteria that are very disruptive to our overall health. And so the same thing with the garden. The weeds are very disruptive to that garden, and our plants are, of course, wonderful. And what we really want with our gut is this healthy garden that's diverse and lush. And so the probiotic, you want to think of the probiotic as the gardener of the gut. So the probiotic goes into that garden and helps get rid of those weeds in the garden. It helps bring those plants that have been stepped on and trampled on and help bring them back to life. And this is why we see such profound results just with the probiotic alone. And because what these strains do is when they go into the intestines, they actually do something called quorum sensing. And when they quorum sense, they actually have the ability to read the microbial environment and help get rid of that overgrowth of the pathogenic bacteria and help our good bacteria kind of come back to life, if you will. So it's like it's this really this lush, diverse garden. You know, we want a diverse microbiome to have a healthy microbiome. I mean, every gut health expert out there would agree that if you have a diverse microbiome, you have health. And that is our goal with our gut, is to have a diverse and healthy microbiome. And these strains in Just Thrive are like the gardener in your intestines. They're going in and helping get rid of that overgrowth of the pathogenic bacteria. And then they're going in to help our good bacteria that's not really doing so well in there, help kind of have it come back to life. So kind of compared to that garden, it's getting rid of the weeds and helping bring those plants that have been stepped on and trampled on back to life. And it's why, like I said, we see such profound results. The prebiotic is actually like the fertilizer for the garden. So think of the probiotic as the gardener and the prebiotic as the fertilizer. So it's the food for the garden. So you go in, you throw that fertilizer onto your garden, and you want it to help bring our good plants back to life. The problem with prebiotics on the market and a lot of fiber on the market is that it actually makes the problem worse sometimes because it doesn't know how to distinguish between the plants in the garden, the good plants, and then the, weeds in the garden. And our prebiotic ingredients we actually didn't launch a prebiotic for many years because of that, because we couldn't find prebiotic ingredients that would actually target only the good bacteria, the good plants in the garden. And so our prebiotic is like the fertilizer that only targets the beneficial bacteria in the gut. And so it amplifies everything else we do. We know that the probiotic alone will give you 10 times more diversity in your gut, but you throw in that prebiotic and now all of a sudden you have this, 100-fold more diversity in your gut microbiome. So we call it the core, I think no, I'm forgetting the name of it. It's Core Health is our bundle that we have. And it is so important just because it is really the core, the foundation of our health, to have the probiotic and the prebiotic working together to make this lush, healthy intestinal tract and this lush, healthy garden for your gut. And again, it's why we see such profound results with the product, not only with digestive issues and with overall health and allergies and all those other things that you are, plagued with when you have gut imbalance going on, but with your skin health. I mean, without a healthy gut, it's really hard to have healthy skin. And by taking care of your gut with the use of a really strong probiotic and the fertilizer of a prebiotic, it's really one of the strongest tools in your toolbox.
So you would recommend taking both of them daily?
I would, yes. I mean, now the probiotic you really can't get from food. Prebiotics you can get from food. You just would have to take a lot of prebiotics, but you could get like asparagus, Jerusalem artichokes. I mean, there are lots of foods that are high in prebiotics, and if you are somebody that eats a lot of those types of foods, then you probably wouldn't need the prebiotic. The probiotic, we really can't get those strains from our environment anymore, unless you lived in a tribe in Tanzania. But for the most part, but yes, I would recommend that that you take these on a regular basis, because remember, this world we're living in is so disruptive to our gut health. It is so disruptive. Like I said, the antibiotics, the glyphosate that's found in Roundup, the stress that we're under, the ingredients in personal care products and household care products, or household products, they are they're disrupting our gut flora and therefore disrupting our skin health. And so it's really important to be taking care of our gut health by using the probiotic as well as the prebiotic. And we have a bundle on the website called Core Health, and you could use the 25% off coupon, which is AM25 for 25% off for that Core Health bundle too.
Thank you.
And you get the free product, the free gift with that too.
And then Tina, can you talk a little bit about your gummies that you have?
Oh, yes. The gummy is very exciting. It is, it's the same 4 strains that are in our capsule product. And it tastes really good and everybody loves it. And I mean, I'm a capsule person, but I know a lot of people have switched over to the gummy because they just love it. Everyone's taking so many supplements that it's nice to have one that you don't have to swallow and you could just chew.
Yeah. No, totally. Okay. And the measurements are the same. Like it'll say it on the bottle. Like you take 1 gummy or 2 or 5 or whatever.
Yeah. So it's 1 capsule and then 1 gummy.
Okay. Okay, cool.
And as far as taking the probiotic, I should probably touch on that. It's super easy. I mean, you just take 1 capsule with food and just take it at the end of a meal. And we recommend that you take it with food because we've actually studied this. We are a very research-based company. For those of you who aren't familiar with us, we've done double-blind human clinical trials on our formulation, which is unheard of in the supplement space. We study when we want to know an answer to something, we study it. So we actually studied And we found out that these strains actually work better in the presence of food. The strains germinate in the presence of food. Most probiotic companies will tell you to take it on an empty stomach. And the reason they do that is because the pH of your stomach is higher when you have an empty stomach. And most probiotic strains are so sensitive that they die in the intestine or in the stomach acid. And so they want a high pH. Ours, we've tested them at a pH of 1.3, which is the normal gastric, the acidity of the stomach. And we know that these strains survive completely in the presence of that. And not only do they survive in the presence of that low acidity rate, but they actually survive in the presence of food. So we highly recommend that you take them in the presence of food because they'll work that much better.
Nice. Okay. Thank you. That's amazing. And as she mentioned, that's 25% off, and Grace will plug that in the chat, or Beth will, that link to that. There was one question that popped up. I don't know what this is, so I'm going to just read it and then you can answer it. It's Tina, for you. Would you ever create a product that combines the probiotic and the IgG into one?
Oh, great idea. I will put that on we have a Slack channel that's called Product Suggestions. And so I will put that in and see if that makes sense for people. So yeah, because IgG, that's a whole other
What's
topic to talk.
IgG?
It's an immunoglobulin G, so really important for our immune health. It's further support of our gut lining. We know that our probiotic alone, we have a double-blind human clinical trial on leaky gut showing that it's sealing up the tight junctions, that it's so protective. Our gut lining is so important and protective of our overall health. And we know that the IgG is also protective of our gut lining as well. And it actually, IgG is a compound that our bodies make, and it basically grabs onto toxins in our body and safely removes them from the body. And so our IgG creates 25% more of the IgG in our gut where we have so many toxins. And again, why we see such great results with the product.
Very cool. Okay. Exciting. Okay, so I see a couple other questions in here. Is it better to have more or less strains for a probiotic, Tina?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked that question, because that's another big myth out there in the probiotic space. So we've been kind of told like, oh, in order to create a diverse microbiome, we need to take a probiotic that has 15 different strains or 10 different strains or 20 different strains. And that is one of the biggest myths out there. And in fact, we call it the kitchen sink type formula, those probiotics that have 15 different types of strains. One of the biggest problems with those types of probiotics is that what companies do is the probiotics are grown in a vat, and inside the vat, they'll throw in those 15 different strains, and those microorganisms will become alive, and they will either take two microorganisms, one could take over another one. And so that one that was listed on the label is actually no longer in the product. Or two could come together and create a whole new strain that we don't know anything about. We don't know if it's safe. We don't know if it's efficacious. We just don't know. And we really can't assume that when you put all these different probiotic strains in one vat, that they're going to stay the same formulation. And in fact, UC Davis did a study about maybe 5-6 years ago. They took 16 children's probiotics off of store shelves and found that only one of them met label claims. And these were those typical kitchen soup type formulas that have 15 different strains, and they basically they really don't have what's listed on the label. And so that's really important. What we do at Just Thrive is we actually grow each of our strains. We have 4 different strains with only 3 billion CFUs. And each of those strains is grown in their own vat. So our one strain is grown in one vat, second strain is grown in their own vat, and they're not mixed together until they've grown. So it's a very, very effective way to not make sure that, strains aren't competing with each other and creating a whole new strain. So I definitely would not try to find one that has lots of different strains. I think the important thing is to find a probiotic that has studies to know what it does. One of the first studies that we did was a gastric survivability study, and that study actually showed us that our strains survived at 100%, and we tested against some of the leading probiotics. Those died off 99.99% by the time they got to the intestines. And then the other big thing that one of the next studies we did was something called a gut model study. And in the gut model study, it showed a 30% favorable shift in just 2.5 weeks. And so that's a profound change in 2.5 weeks with a probiotic. I don't know of any other probiotic that has a study of that magnitude showing a 30% shift, a favorable shift in that garden, if you will, like in our gut. And this is just after 2.5 weeks with just 3 billion CFUs and just 4 strains. So I wouldn't get caught up about finding, a product that has 15 different strains or 20 different strains or 250 billion CFU. I would focus on getting a probiotic strain that has studies on what these particular strains do together and how they work together.
That's really helpful because I also, when I read that, I was like, oh yeah, I'm curious too, because you
Yeah.
often hear that you want all the strains and all the things. That's
Yeah, in
fascinating.
fact, the Weissman Institute did a study about this. I mean, earlier this year, or maybe it was earlier last year, they found that they're saying that it actually some of those types of strain or probiotics will actually compete with your gut flora when you're trying to like fight off an immune infection,
Mm,
so or immune system issue.
okay, interesting. And then another person, which you kind of answered in your response, asked how long until we would see a difference after starting the probiotic.
Yeah, great question. So what we see is generally you see, I mean, it could be from a couple days to a couple weeks, usually within the first 3 to 4 weeks, you're going to see a difference. But when you see the magic starts happening is after a couple months, because that's when you start to see like, oh, I'm sleeping better. Why am I sleeping better? Or I'm in a better mood, because, or, better weight management. We see that a lot because it's your gut microbiome that's dictating if you're one of those people that gains weight so easily or one of those people that doesn't. So we start to see a lot of these other magic that start all these ancillary benefits maybe after a couple months. But when you come to it, you'll see some benefits within the it could be from the first couple days till maybe the first couple weeks.
Nice.
It's obviously very individual.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, there's a few people asking about kids taking your supplements. So can the kids take the probiotics or do they just take the gummies and then are the gummies appropriate for children? I'm going to say yes, because I saw that,
Yeah.
but you want to speak
Yes.
to that a little bit?
Yes, I'm particularly passionate about kids because, as we know, the kids now are being, born into this world that's in this sterile environment with like toxins everywhere. When I was a kid, which was a long time ago, I knew one classmate from kindergarten all the way through the end of high school that had a peanut allergy. And of course, now we know there's peanut-free tables. We know that you can't go to a restaurant without them asking if you have a food allergy. This is an epidemic with our children right now, and I think it's something we have to take super seriously. And I think giving a spore-based probiotic to your child is one of the best things you could give to them. And you could give them either the capsule, you could open the capsule and mix it with food. I used to put it in my son's really hot oatmeal just because he didn't even know it was there. He didn't even know he was taking it. And we actually have tested it. We know that these strains could withstand heat up to about 400 and so degrees. So you could put it in hot, you could bake with it, you could put it in hot oatmeal, you could put it in water if you want to open the capsule, or you could give a gummy. If you have a small child, of course, ask your pediatrician, but you could actually sprinkle it on, either if you're nursing, you could sprinkle it on your breast and have the baby get a few strains that way, or you could put it on your finger and give it to the baby. But just you have to be careful, like with any choking or anything like that. You don't want to give it to the baby if they can't swallow that kind of substance. But definitely so important to give to kids, especially school age kids. The gummy is great, but again, if you want to give them the capsule and just kind of sneak it in there, that's great too. But the gummies taste amazing.
That's so helpful. That's fascinating. I love
But
that you can
please, yeah.
bake with it or put it on hot, like a bowl of rice or something.
Yeah.
That's
That's what's so cool about these spores is they actually have this endospore shell that allows it to survive heat, and it also allows it to survive, of course, the gastric system, which is
Mhm.
why it survives alive, but it also survives the presence of antibiotics, which is another key thing because people know that when you have to take a antibiotic, it's a drag. Sometimes you have to do it, but you actually could take the spores alongside the antibiotic and they'll survive. They go back into their spore shell. And then when the antibiotic is gone, they go and help rebuild what the antibiotic has destroyed.
That's great. Amazing. Wow. Okay. Good tips there. Grace just plugged in those links to those products for Just Thrive, just in case everyone's really inspired. At 25% off, I think that's a really good deal. I think those could be really good gifts for the holidays. I mean, I'm tempted to buy a few for friends. We
Yep.
get another question around the night serum, so I can answer a little bit, and then Kate, you can chime in if you'd like. Activated night serum, how to use it, and any products to use it with, from Beverly. This one is a very activated product with the bioactive A complex. So it's meant to be a retinol alternative type product that is very resurfacing. It's refining to your pores. It's brightening. It's very nice to use. You would use it in the evening. And I would always recommend using sunscreen the following day. I like to use this one for like 2 weeks straight. And then personally, I like to give my skin a break, and I have a lot of serums in my cabinet, so I rotate between them. So that's how I would use it. And then I would use it with whatever cleanser you preferred, phytonutrient cleanser, then mist a little bit of your botanical hydration mist. Then you do your night serum, and then you can put the rejuvenating facial oil on top. Those are the products that I would suggest using it with because I am a wild alchemy junkie. But I'm going to throw it over to Kate to see if she wants to chime in there.
I feel like you hit a lot of it. So how you use the activated night serum, it is used at night because of that bioactive A. We're using this overnight, right? This is our retinol alternative. It's your third step in your routine. So you're still using your cleanser, you're still using your toning mist, then you're doing your activated night serum, and then whichever facial oil feels good for you. I personally like the Divine Woman over the top of that. And then other products that go particularly well with it, I like to alternate this one in the morning with the wild fruit serum, which again is discounted today. Rachel, I don't remember. This is 25?
30.
This is 30.
No, it's 25. You're
So,
right. It's 25.
yeah, so I feel like these two complement each other really nicely, especially if you're working on addressing, pigmentation, signs of aging, all of that, using this one as your serum in the morning and this one as the serum in the evening. And then, like Rachel mentioned, being very diligent with your sunscreen. And I know we say that, but with this product in particular, it is really important to protect your skin from UV damage when you're going out in the sun during the day. So Sun Love, Wild Fruit, the rest of your routine, all goes well with activated night.
And you'll just notice the results are a little bit nicer when you wear the sunscreen with it because your skin will be a little bit more glassy and smooth.
Mm-hmm.
What else was I just going to say? Oh, another thing. I really love pairing the activated night serum with the concentrated boosting elixir. So using it with the hydrate and then your oil. And then in the morning, as Kate suggested, the wild fruit serum, blending it with hydrate and brighten, which is the vitamin C.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I don't know if this is a taboo, but I added a little bit of the Revitalize, which has that bioactive A complex with the activated night serum, just to give it a little extra. I don't do it every night, maybe like one night a week, maybe 2 nights a week, but that's a really nice touch too.
Yeah, I definitely do that also. I feel
Okay,
like
great.
like, is this a secret? Yeah, and what Rachel's talking about are these. These are the concentrated boosting elixirs. It's a set of 3, and we've got the hydrate, the brighten, and the revitalize. These are concentrated boosters for your serums. And the hydrate and maybe the revitalize, if your skin can handle it, is what we would recommend. Just a little bit into that serum and then apply that onto the face.
Yeah, and I just want to add, as you're mentioning those, I've been doing a lot of research on certain chemicals for a project that I'm working on. And it's just fascinating to see how many vitamin C's are out there that are so bad or petroleum derived or not stable or oxidize super quickly or have other contaminants in them. And same with retinol. This bioactive A complex or the revitalized, the activated night serum is an alternative to using retinol, and the damage that we see retinol causing on reproductive health, on your skin, on acting as a potential carcinogen. It's just gnarly. And then also the peptides, a lot of peptides that we see can be derived from animals, from just really gross. And we created this product, the concentrated boosting elixirs, to offer an alternative to these magical activated ingredients on the market, to have something that's still activated and magical and amazing and results driven, but really clean and made safe, and something that you can use all the time, you know, whether you're concerned about your health or not. And I think it's really remarkable to have incredible products that are also really safe for you and the planet. So just a little tip with that. Another question, do the wild fruit serum or the Radiant C increase photosensitivity? I noticed increased photosensitivity in my skin when using the phytonutrient cleanser. Kate, do you want me to dive into this one, or you want to? They shouldn't. There's no, so the wild fruit serum, I'll just touch on really quick and then you can. Typically, what would increase photosensitivity is having some sort of citrus. And I'm going to just move this real quick. Having some sort of citrus or essential oil of citrus in your product. And it depends on the type of citrus as well. But wild fruit serum specifically doesn't have any. It has mimosa and Litsea cubeba, which smells like citrus, but it actually is a pine. So there is no citrus in that one, although it might smell citrusy. In fact, it might help with being in the sun, and it would help with brightening and calming your skin. The Radiant C, I mean, exfoliating your skin and rubbing to remove impurities, it's going to make your skin a little bit fresher. So whatever you're putting on it, whether it's the illuminating pearl mask, it'll penetrate more. Or if you're out in the sun, it'll penetrate more. So I would just be mindful when you're ever, just like if I were to take something rough right now and rub it on my skin and then go out in the sun, it's going to be a little bit sensitive. So I would just be mindful on that. And the phytonutrients shouldn't at all make your skin photosensitive. And I wonder, whatever your name is, if it's but I wonder if there's something else that you're using potentially that could be causing that. So I'd be curious to hear from you, or if you can write in to us and let us know. That could be helpful. Kate, do you want to chime in on anything there?
I feel like you addressed it. Yeah, the wild fruit serum, I wouldn't suspect an increase in photosensitivity. The Radiant C, honestly, really only if you were like really buffing, which you can do with that product. So if you're like got a really kind of textured grit and you're kind of going deeper, then maybe be extra mindful of sun exposure and protecting the sun. But generally, when you add a little bit of liquid to that, it's fairly thin. So that one I would kind of say, like, let your skin be your guide with that. But the wild fruit and the phytonutrient, I would not suspect an increase in photosensitivity. Yeah.
Well, but yeah, if you want to write into us and let us know your full routine and what you're using, we can definitely guide you on what can change or what might be causing that, so you can shift it up a bit. Thanks, Kate. Okay, cool. I want to dive into, I think, our last giveaway here. Okay, we're going to be giving away as Tina was talking so much about the prebiotics, we just dove into a bunch of questions. But before that, she was talking about the necessity of prebiotics, especially in our world today where our food isn't as rich in that as it used to be. So we're going to be giving away one Just Thrive prebiotic and one anti-aging eye cream, anti-aging Annmarie Skin Care eye cream. What is your favorite? So this, I guess, is for both customers. What's currently your favorite Annmarie Skin Care product or Just Thrive product? So if you're a customer of both, then tell us both of your favorite products. And we are going to pick two winners. All right, I'm going to start reading them out because I love hearing what people's favorite products are. Sun Love. We got another Sun Love. Jolene, is that the probiotic formula from Just Thrive? I'm gonna guess it is. Yes. Okay, great. Love them all. Maybe the eye cream. Someone likes our toner, a floral serum. Hope, I want to know what that floral serum is. Anti-aging facial oil. Keep them coming. I think there's over 40 people on the call. We We want to hear from more of you. Anti-aging serum. Neroli toning mist. We'll give it another minute and then Grace is going to pick 2 winners. So if you want to win, resurfacing facial exfoliant. Beverly, if you want to plug it into the main chat so Grace can see your name, because I don't want you to not win because you wrote me privately. But yes, the resurfacing facial exfoliant is one of my favorites. You can see results instantaneously, which is amazing. Pam, I love too many. I guess the anti-aging serum, also the eye serum. Oh, the eye serum's a good one too. We haven't talked about that one. Activated night serum. Ooh, I love the pet probiotic. What's that? Is that from Just Thrive? Can we talk about that, Tina?
Yeah, absolutely. So just like us humans have leaky guts, so do pets. You know, pets are going to the parks and those parks are sprayed with glyphosate Roundup, which of course the active ingredient is glyphosate. And so our guts are suffering from leaky gut. And we actually did a clinical study on leaky gut in dogs, and we have a formulation just for dogs and for cats too. It's for all animals, but so it's for dogs and cats, but the study is on the dogs.
I need to try. I mean, I'm not going to try it, but I want my dog to try it. I feel like
Yes.
I might have leaky gut, and I saw probiotics at the store, and I was just like, is that real? But I guess it
Oh
is.
no, these are real. They're going to survive the gastric. They're also spores, so we use the spores too. So a couple
Okay.
of the same strains.
And the pet ones, you would just sprinkle it on their food.
Yeah, you can either open the sprinkle the food, or some animals, some dogs will actually eat it. So
It tastes
eat the
good. You
capsule.
could take it like a treat for them.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
My
Cool.
dog loves it.
Oh, I
every
love
dog.
this.
Yeah, dogs love it. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's got a beef liver extract, so it tastes good.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
my dogs will just take it too. And I've been using it for like 4 months, and my dog was constantly licking his paws, one of them, and it's cured that he doesn't lick his paws like constantly like he used to. So
Wow.
I've noticed a huge difference.
I
Yeah,
love that.
helps with
Okay, a lot of
itching.
people want to try the dog one, the pet one. So that's great. Can you plug that link? It might not be on discount, but can we plug the link in the chat so that everybody can add it to their cart?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Okay, let's pick 2 winners. We also have activated night serum, wild fruit serum, citrus stem cell serum, a lot of answers there. Grace, go ahead. Let's pick 2 winners for the eye cream and the prebiotic.
Perfect. I do have 2 winners. I'm also really excited to try the pet probiotic. My dog is also super itchy, so hopefully this will help.
Oh
Super
yeah,
excited.
that's one of the biggest testimonials we get. So
Amazing.
Amazing. So our 2 winners are Jolene Dirks and Elaine Barney. So yay! If you guys
yay!
want to direct message me your email, that would be lovely, and I will email you after the call for next steps. But you're our winners, so I'll say them again, Jolene Dirks and Elaine Barney. Yay.
Congratulations. Yay. Okay, and that pet probiotic, Beth will plug the link into the chat so that everybody can add it. And then we're going to dive into our last segment here. We have the next 20 minutes-ish, no, not 20, maybe 13 minutes
Yeah.
to answer any questions. So any last lingering questions that you have, plug them in. You can feel free to ask anything about gut health, skincare routines, how these products work in tandem, and then we're gonna go ahead and answer them. And then while we're answering these questions, I'll read some and ask Tina or Kate. Grace will plug in all of the previous links in the chat so that anybody who's just joining, we still have people popping in and out over the past 10 minutes, can take advantage of those. And just a reminder that you will need to check out by 12:30 Pacific time in order to get these discounts. Ooh. Okay, Tina, are the probiotic gummies absorbed as well as the capsule?
Yes, they are absorbed as well as the capsule. The study that we did was on the capsule formula. But we have no reason to believe that the gummy wouldn't. It's the same exact strains. I will say the gummy does have a little bit less of I think a third of the less of the each strain, but it has all 4 strains. So if you wanted to have it more equal, you could take maybe 1.5 gummies to equal I don't know exactly at the top of my head, but you could take a little bit more of the gummy to get the exact same dosage. But for the most part, I mean, it's the 4 exact same strains in the capsule and the gummy.
Okay, nice. And then are all of your studies, this is just my question, are all of your studies on your site? Like in your
No, they're not on our site
Okay.
for reasons that we were told by our,
Got it.
FDA compliance attorneys not to have it on there. But you could always contact um, our customer service team and they could help you with that.
That makes sense. The FDA, they have control.
Yeah.
Okay. And then just as a reminder, if anybody has questions for Just Thrive, Beth is going to go ahead and plug that email address into the chat. And then if you have questions for Annmarie Skin Care, Grace will plug that one in so you can reach out privately if you wanted to.
And you know what? Now that I think about it, we may have added it back in because we had it on our site, then we took it off, and now we got they may be back on the site. So I'm not sure right now, but either way,
Okay.
you could speak to our customer care team, who are amazing. They're literally so easy to talk to, and I'd highly recommend chatting with them if you have any questions.
Okay, great. Grace, any questions that you saw that came in earlier, perhaps?
Let me take a peek in the chat. But for right now, there is one that's asking if the gummies have any sugars.
Yes, they do have it. Unfortunately, they've got a very tiny bit of it, but they do have some sugar. So that's why we didn't launch up a gummy for so long. But then we realized that the thing is, when you have the gummy, it creates more compliance and people are more likely to take it. So the detriment, it's such a tiny bit of sugar that it's outweighed by the benefits of the probiotic.
Great.
Perfect. And then there was one. Oh goodness, where did it go? Oh,
I see one on vitamin C.
yeah, that's the one I was just about to read. You beat me to it.
Okay, question. Okay, great. Emily is answering. So question is regarding the vitamin C used, the THDA and the Brighton vitamin C. What's the difference, I'm guessing, between that one versus a powder, like ascorbic acid or other brands? And let's see what Emily says, and then I'll chime in. The THDA that we use is stable form. It's also oil soluble, non-irritating. A lot of other types of vitamin C are not stable and go rancid quickly. Yep, that's exactly true. So the ascorbic acid specifically, or L-ascorbic, it's a powder and it's very great and it's active depending on the derivatives. So you might want to check that out. But it's great if you use it, like you pour the powder in your hand and blend it with your serum and then use it. If it sits longer than that minute, maybe a couple minutes, it'll start to oxidize and go rancid. And it's not effective. And it's not effective and it's also not good for your skin. So the one that we're using is oil soluble. It is the most stable form that we've found. And it is also the most non-irritating form that we found. And it also is derived from a non-GMO food source, which a lot of vitamin C's are not. So that's kind of the main difference between those. Thanks, Emily, for plugging that blog in there. Other questions that anybody else has? We have about 5 minutes left to answer any questions. And just like as a short recap, we went over a lot today. This was our first partner live shopping event call with Just Thrive. Annmarie Skin Care has these often, and we were like, let's do one with Just Thrive. We love them, they're great. So we had one talking about prebiotics, probiotics, their newest product that they're launching, Just Calm, and the blend of them. We even talked about pet probiotics, which was really cool, and why these probiotics are so special, which if you joined late, you can listen to the recap that we will send out next week and learn all about that. Annmarie Skin Care is offering a free kaolin micro exfoliant trial size with all orders. Just Thrive is offering the Just Calm trial size with all orders. And then we're both offering lots of discounts, which Grace is plugging into the chat. These will all be live for the next hour. So if you would like to take advantage of these, make sure you add them to your cart now and don't procrastinate. Check out before the hour ends, 12:30. so that you can get those discounts. And another reminder, if you're listening at a later date, you will not be able to use any of these. So you just have to join the next live call. Okay, great. Any last lingering questions that anybody has before we sign off and say bye?
We just had one come in that was a direct message to me. I use all the anti-aging products regimen plus an aloe herb cleanser and as well as the hydrate. What would be another great product you would recommend to add to my routine? Oh, this is a broad one. There's could be so many answers to this.
Go ahead, Kate. Take it away.
I think the activated night serum, with the exception being if you were really, really sensitive, but if you're using all of the anti-aging, then you probably can handle it just fine. The activated night is the product that has the bioactive A, which is our retinol alternative, and this one is awesome just for a lot of different concerns with the skin, larger pores, decreasing, having this beautiful, like taut, lifted look to the face. It's very comfortable to wear, very easy to slip into your routine. This is the first one that comes to mind. What do you think, Rach?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My first go-to is always the concentrated boosting elixirs. I mean, that one's very activated, but like my first thought when someone's like, okay, I'm using everything anti-aging, but like they're just the products, I'm like, use the boosting elixirs just because they're so activated and I feel like you will see results instantaneously. Like if you use the vitamin C for 3 or 4 days in a row and the hydrate, which you're using, which is great, and then the revitalize at night, you'll start to see those results immediately. So that would be my go-to personally. But the activated night serum is also incredible. Hopefully that was helpful for you.
And of course, the probiotic will amplify all of those products.
And Tina shared a little bit about the probiotics. I mean, a lot of it about it that you can find out if you listen to the recap. But one of the most fascinating things I mentioned that I heard from her when I first met her was how this one survives the gut and like the ones that are in the refrigerator don't. And you're often told that you need these high strands of ones in the refrigerator and you can't do A, B, and C with it. And that's all just nonsense, just lies and not true. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah. And without a healthy gut, it's hard to have healthy skin. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Another question just came through for Tina. If you're on probiotics already, do you need to slowly start with Thrive? Like, do you have to like integrate them differently? Or what would you recommend if someone's already using a different brand of probiotics?
Yeah, you could always take spores are a different category of probiotics, so you could always take them at the same time. I don't know why you would, because it would be, probably wasteful to do that, but it wouldn't be any problem switching directly to the spores or taking them at the same time. There would be no problem with that.
Oh. Another question came up, Kate, if you want to answer this, what would you recommend for neck cream or serum?
Perfect. This is such a common question. I always say to carry all of the serums just down onto the neck. This is a really easy, like, you just habit stacking doing that. You can bring the oils down onto the neck. Personally, I feel like it's like putting my clothes on. So I use the Radiant Skin Silk over the serum on my neck. This is a body product, and I feel like it is awesome for like crepey or loose skin. Another really important thing that I didn't finish in the response that I was typing, sunscreen. And I know we've mentioned it so many times, but just making sure to protect the neck area from UV damage is a really, really great way to kind of sustain the youthful lift of that neck. So, oh, another thing, not to spend a ton of time on this, but gua sha. Getting in the habit of doing a gua sha routine on the full neck and face, both of them, because all of these muscles are connected. And so doing the gua sha on the neck is helping the kind of droop in the jaw, doing it on the sides of the neck is helping with the neck. So starting a quick, daily gua sha is helpful.
Thanks, Kate. And Grace, do you want to plug in, or Emily, into the chat a link to the consults? Just as a reminder, Kate and Emily are in-house estheticians. Kate here, they do consults all the time throughout the month to kind of just guide you on what skincare products and what tools and methods work best. So I would highly recommend taking one of those or doing one of those. They're free. Julie had a question for you, Tina. Do you take the pre and the pro together? The answer is yes, but if you want to
Yeah.
answer more on that.
Well, yeah, I take the probiotic with food. So at the end of whatever meal, it doesn't matter the time of day, but just whatever even your largest meal of the day is when I take the prebiotic or the probiotic. Sorry, I don't want to confuse anyone. And the prebiotic comes in two forms. So I'm glad you asked this question. There's a powder form and then there's a capsule form. So the powder form, what I would recommend doing is mixing it with your water and kind of sipping it throughout the day. So you're kind of like sprinkling that garden throughout the day, not just like one time you're putting the fertilizer in, you're just kind of sprinkling your garden of your gut throughout the day. And then with the capsules, there's 4 capsules. And I would just say take those throughout the day too. And it's harder to remember that. That's why I'm kind of a fan of the powder, because I do take so many supplements that I like the powder, but a lot of people just think it's easier to take a capsule. So with the capsule, I would just take it throughout the day.
Amazing. Okay, perfect.
You certainly could take it at the same time too. That would be fine. But I'm just saying for optimally, it would be better to sprinkle the prebiotic throughout the day.
I like the powder idea. It's great.
Mhm.
Okay, we have just 1 minute left, so we're going to close out. We appreciate everybody joining us. Thank you, Tina and Just Thrive, for being here and sharing all this information. I love talking about this.
Well,
I feel
thank
like
you.
anything that can support skin through gut health is amazing.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity, Rachel. I really appreciate it. And
Yeah.
all the whole Annmarie Skin Care team, thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, I'm going to stop recording. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks everyone for joining. Have a great day.